Hello everybody, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing Devil May Cry, and we're on mission 18. It's called Spirit Stone Elixir, and we're playing on the hardest difficulty, which really rears its head on this chapter because it's a tough encounter once again with Nightmare, and this will be the second time we're dealing with this guy. We'll have to deal with him a final time in the underworld, and he's even more challenging. So I guess I should dispense with trivialities here and just go to the meat of the matter, so to speak. So again, I actually chose to fight the underworld boss, and it's the Griffin. But the nice thing about the way this game handles that confrontation, though, by the way, here you want to close in the distance on these guys as best as possible. And the third one usually devil triggers. What I like to do on the final boss is or not the final boss, but the Nightmare number 2, is to use my Ifrit and dispense with the devil trigger and go for his cores. I have a cracked green core and an intact blue core currently, and by the time I ended the battle, I had not aggroed either of the cores to the red status, so we're all good, I guess. But since you probably need some health to defeat the Griffin, and it's a great way to deal with Nightmare and deal damage to him and not sacrifice the core in the process. The cores, excuse me, there's 2 of them. So what I was saying about the nice thing about this game, though, is that it's not a brutal confrontation with Griffin. I think since we sent him to the underworld, we've killed him, and this will be the 4th time we're fighting him. I think that they let your hits, like his defense is not up all the way as it was, say, in any of the fights, because this is the hardest difficulty. His defense stats were up really high, and when you hit him, it does hardly any damage. In this, it's barely half as hard as any of the other confrontations. So if you're comfortable fighting Griffin, I would just say go for it. It's not hard whatsoever. The hardest part about it is just that it's a weird environment that you're fighting him in, and you might get caught while you're rolling around in some of the columns and things like that. But I would go to the underworld early on if I were you. Now, I don't know what I'm going to be doing about Nilo Angelo in the final Nightmare battle, because I'm not very good at fighting him to begin with. So, one of my regrets, though, was that as far as items used here, I used 1 heal, I used 1 untouchable, and 3 holy waters, which was a stupid mistake because none of them did anything on Nightmare. I forgot about that. So don't repeat my mistake. The holy water does absolutely nothing here. On the next fight, I'll let you guys know what's the status of that. They might work, but okay. So anyway, you might have noticed that I hit the circle, and then this is just a different take here. So he's only got 1 new attack, and it's a blade that circulates pretty much wherever you are. So if you hit it, you can cancel it out. Here's that intact blue core that I mentioned, and it's taking away a lot of damage because A, I'm in Devil Trigger, and B, its defenses are low since it's in the blue status. So another word of caution: when you're hitting the circles, just be very careful that it's really easy to get stabbed right in the back by this son of a bitch and get staggered hits on your person and almost be dead. So I would say that the best time to hit those circles is when he's a pool of muck and he can't really do any. Like, he has no attacks other than those little organisms that try to hit you, which don't do very much damage anyway. So yeah, so here I am in the underworld, and I'm taking care of these guys. Just don't count on anything to heal you here except your own self. This game is fucking tough, I got to admit, but they only let you carry 1 heal, what are they called, the vital stars? That's it. That's all you get to carry. And okay, so here's the chicken or the Griffin, whatever the fuck you want to call him here. And I'm going in for this tried and true, but you really got to be careful. And I dropped down on purpose because I knew he was going to hit me in the air, so that actually kind of worked in my favor. I was actually getting some render lag over here. I don't know if you can see it, but I was rendering another file for the guide, and I had some lag because this game runs at 60 frames a second, and even though my computer is really a high-spec machine, 60 frames a second is just, a big demand on a computer. Plus, I was doing other things in the background too. But as you can see, like your hits, you see that hit with the. Okay, just check out the hits here. It's like double the damage you would do on. Like the last fight we fought this guy, it barely does any damage. It does like chip damage even with the Devil Trigger grenade gun. But here it's doing double damage, so he's going down twice as quickly, and that's great because this shouldn't be like an arduous fight, because this isn't even the fight. This is not the nightmare fight. So just remember to roll through these attacks here and just finish him off as best you can. I don't believe he has any other moves except his usual repertoire. Here's some items. They give you a little. I mean, look how much health they. Is that enough? That is just not enough. So I'm gonna heal my own self here, and here's the benefit of. See, that's a lot of damage. I think it might have even damaged him more than the previous fight. So, lacking any means of healing myself through any kind of pickups, I'm just going to heal myself. So I'm back to hitting the wall. This is just a great move, this offensive roll here. So when he does his core there, he's going to shoot the ice beam. So just be very careful of that. And then jump on here. He likes to withdraw the core very quickly. This is what I meant though about when he's in his real form and you're going for the hits and you're hitting the wall. Just be very careful. Here's my shattered green core. There really is nothing you can do about this. I mean, this is the best tactic. It's just inevitable that these things get damaged a little bit. Okay, so from his rear, the rear part of the mechanism, he's going to shoot the missiles. Like every time a core opens up, you have to wait a little bit because he's going to do an attack, whether it's the ice beam or the missiles or that spinning blade. The spinning blade one is only maybe he has 3 cores, I don't know, but the ice beam comes from his mouth, the spinning blade comes from his back, like the top of him, and the missiles come from the rear of him. So all I can say, here is my situation. Like, I couldn't afford to take any more damage from that blade. It would have almost killed me, so I just used an untouchable. I have 4 more left, plus there's a couple more you can pick up by the end of the game, so I felt that it was prudent to use it, but I still regret using those. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I was talking about. Trying to hit the wall, and I got frozen by the ice beam and dealt heavy damage. So here I had no way of healing myself, and I had to play well. That's the bottom line. I could not make any mistakes over here. I'm at 0 fucking HP. What am I doing here? Did I use that? Yeah, I used that as a last resort. Those are very important items, though. Don't waste those. But, 1 out of 10 is pretty good. I mean, I still have 9 left, but that's the end of the fight. That's not easy. None of these fights are easy, and fortunately, we'll get a reprieve from boss battles for the time being, and we're going to be going to the Underworld presently, and getting closer and closer to Mundus. So thanks for watching my guide.